Bye, little bird. You be alright?
Yeah, good on you. Really good.
Oops. I hope it'll be alright.
Oh, thank you so
Thank
much.
you so
for
much.
coming in.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Definitely does not belong here.
AstraZeneca has long said it will not make a profit on its cheap and easy-to-use COVID vaccine during the pandemic. There were some signs that might be changing on Friday. The vaccine made a small contribution to earnings in the drug maker's third quarter. The Anglo-Swedish company now projects the shots will move to modest profitability on new orders. AstraZeneca said that would make up for other costs related to developing COVID treatments. Sales of a COVID vaccine have proven highly profitable for rival Pfizer. The US drug maker forecasts sales of at least $65 billion overall for 2021 and 2022. AstraZeneca's total product sales jumped 47% to almost $10 billion during the 3 months to September. Sales of the vaccine reached just over $1 billion during that time. The acquisition of rare disease specialist Alexion also boosted AstraZeneca's sales. The company did see lower than expected growth in some of its core treatments for cancer, rare diseases and heart conditions. But sales of asthma drug Symbicort were up 13% to $676 million.
United Nations staff will be punished for breaking the law, the Ethiopian government has warned, saying they are not in space. Those comments from Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Dina Mufti on Thursday, following the arrest of several UN employees for unspecified offences.
They're not in space, they're in Ethiopia. They have to respect Ethiopia's law one by one. If they don't respect the law of the land, they will be legally held accountable, whether they are a UN or African Union staff.
Ethiopia declared a state of emergency earlier this month after rebellious forces from the northern Tigray region and their allies threatened to march on the capital. Since then, hundreds of Tigrayans have been arrested in Addis Ababa, their families and colleagues have said, along with 16 UN staff members, whose ethnicity has not been revealed. 7 of the UN staff were later released. Police say the arrests are not ethnically motivated. Foreign citizens have also been caught up, with governments of the US, Britain and Italy reporting nationals detained. Over the past week, envoys from the African Union and the US have visited Ethiopia to push for a ceasefire in the year-long conflict with the Tigray People's Liberation Front. But at the briefing, Mufti reiterated the government's position. That is, that talks will not be held until the TPLF withdraws, stops attacks, and recognises the government's legitimacy. The TPLF said last week it had seized the town of Kamis, 200 miles from Addis. On Thursday, state-affiliated broadcaster Fana reported that the Ethiopian military had repelled attacks near Kamis and pushed back forces near the strategic town of Mile. A TPLF spokesperson did not immediately respond to a request for comment.
As migrants on the Polish-Belarus border face cold and hunger, people in the eastern Polish town of Mikolowo have decided to help, setting up this centre in a fire station where migrants can come for warmth, something to eat and drink. Donations of food and other supplies are flooding in from around Poland and from abroad, said one person working there. 2 people have so far taken shelter, an Iraqi and a Syrian. As well as a roof over migrants' heads, the centre provides supplies to organisations helping those stuck on the border. Another centre has been set up at a local school by the Great Orchestra of Christmas charity. Ursula Dragan is a member of the Families Without Borders initiative.
I believe it has a very deep symbolic dimension because it shows that this place is friendly for migrants. This place and the people who live here want to help. They are kind and they're able to show it.
Most of the migrants who are trying to enter Poland and the European Union remain trapped between Belarusian and Polish security services, enduring freezing weather in makeshift border camps. At least 7 have died in the months-long crisis, Poland says, and others say they fear for their lives. Critics say the Polish government is treating migrants inhumanely and not letting them apply for international protection. Warsaw says the migrants are Belarus's responsibility as they are legally on its territory, and that offers of humanitarian aid have been refused.
It's here a call to really use the last hours of the negotiation of this agreement to have concrete actions on financing, for mitigation, so that we don't have the worst effects of climate change, for adaptation for those communities that are so affected, but to really focus on that 1.5 degree that allows us all to have hope for the future. So we need reductions of emissions. At the moment we're going up in emissions. We need to reduce by 45% in the next 9 years, and we need countries to come back next year with serious pledges to make sure that we have a viable world. And do we want leaders who want to be remembered as the ones who really put out this fire and made a world that is safer and where we can all thrive?
Thank you.